Hi, I'm Shreya and this is Decoding Code. It is a good day to talk about inheritance, but we won't be going that deep. We'll mostly just stay on the topic of the object class in Java. Now, I'll have you know that the object class is kind of like the father of all classes in Java, in the sense that all classes inherit from it certain traits and functions, and that's what we'll be going over today. Now, in my previous video, I did talk about the toString and the string representation and overriding that and all of that good stuff, and we'll be kind of going over that as well, just because it is relevant, very relevant to the topic of inheritance, and it's a very good example. So I'll just be going over that as well. We'll also talk about something similar to that that's called equals, and the hashCode and all of that good stuff, so just stay tuned for that. Now, going back to my kind of aquarium, okay, so I put the string representation of these aquariums to their names, and that was me overriding the default that Java has. toString basically returns a string representation of an object. So that is actually just a default, and that happens if you use .toString, and that you can use it in any class, and that is actually inherited from the object class, and so is the hashCode. So those are two things that are inherited from the object class, and all classes have them. You can use those in all classes, and they are very relevant. And you can see here that you can also override the toString, and set a different representation for that, so it doesn't just return the hashCode if you're trying to print out an object. Now, the same goes for equals. Now, equals is something that can tell you if two things are equal to each other. So this is also inherited from the object class. Now, you can also override this and do what you want with it and make it kind of specific to your code, because you may not want to see if the values of an object are equal to each other. You might just want to check the name, or you might just want to check if they're even just the same type, which is what I'm doing here. Now, I'll explain a little bit more. Now, there are lots of things that classes inherit from the object class, but in this video we'll just be focusing on toString, the hashCode, and equals. And since we haven't really gone over equals yet, I'll be going a little bit more in depth with this one. Now, you can see that I've kind of used it here. I'm comparing the big aquarium with the small aquarium, and then the medium aquarium, which is what I just created, and the big aquarium. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically just seeing if they're equal. And so when I'm doing the big aquarium and the small aquarium, you can see that they definitely do not have the same values at all, and they don't have the same names, they don't have the same values, and it's very not same. The only thing that's similar with them is that they are both from the class aquariums, and they're both objects of that class. Now, when I tried to get if they were equal, I got true, and that is because I overrided, I don't know, but I overrided that equals method. So I overrided that equals method in my class there, in the aquariums class. And you can see that the same thing happens with medium aquarium, and big aquarium. See, these values are definitely not similar at all, and the only thing that's the same about them is that they are objects of the class aquarium. And so it still comes out as true when I ask if they are equal. So it's because I overrided the equals method. Now if I go back, you can see that all I'm checking here is if this, and this is the object that I'm using the method on, equals the object, and that's the input here. And then if object is null, then it's false. And so here, if this equals is just checking if it's an object of that same class. And if it weren't, then it would say false. So since it is, and it's not checking anything else, and I've overrided this, so it's just checking these two things, and that's it. So in both of these cases, it has returned true. Now, if I just took out this entire thing, if you go to source here, and where you generate getters and setters, you can also generate hashCode and equals. So if we do that, and we do it for all of these, then you can see all of this code. Now, this is actually what the default is. So it's checking all of the values, it's checking if it's the same class, it's checking all of this stuff. If I just leave it like this, then I go back. Okay, now it's returned false because it's actually checking the values. But actually just what I've done is I've taken out, like before, I just took out all of this because I don't want it to check the values. I don't want it to check anything other than these two things. So that shows that you can actually just override these methods, these default methods. Now you could do the same thing with the toString and the hashCode. This is the default for the hashCode. I'll just be doing it with the hashCode because we actually already overrid the toString. Sorry for my horrible English, but we actually already overrided that toString method here. So I'm just going to override the hashCode, and it's checking all of these things, but I don't want to. What I want to do is really, I could just return anything I wanted. I could just return 7 if I just took this out really quick. It printed tropical the other time, and that's only because I set the string representation as the name. But now I set my hashCode. So, okay, so the string representation now won't be the name. It'll go to the hashCode, and now my hashCode is 7. So let's see how that works out. So it gives my hashCode as 7. Now that's exactly what I overrid it to do. Now if I put that overriding the toString method here, and then so it won't even need the hashCode because it already has the string representation and it doesn't have to go back there, and it goes back to tropical. It doesn't go to the hashCode at all because it doesn't need to. So with this, I've actually showed you guys everything that I wanted to show you guys right now. I've explained these 3 methods and how to use them and how to override them, and I've explained the object class. I will go deeper into inheritance later because this is a very fundamental kind of building block, and it's very important to know. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I upload, and I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys learned a lot about inheritance and are amped up to learn more about it. I upload every week on Mondays, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye!